when I'm coaching men, I'm also thinking about my life and the gaps. And I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm perfect. I even think that I'm perfect or everything's amazing. I have a very blessed life. I think my relationship's amazing. I think the stuff I do I love the work that I do. I feel it's my calling truly. So I have a lot of those check marks, but dude, I've got enough things that I'm working on too. So I don't want anybody to ever think it's perfect. And so when I answer these questions for the men that are coming in or coaching, I'm also seeing tweaks that I can constantly make in my world too. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the TPM Show. And if you've listened to the previous episodes, we are taking your questions directly in here. And once again, I have been graced by Christopher Hansen being here with us. So this is going to be a fun show. We're having a lot of fun at the TPM Ranch. I've had too much coffee. So let's go. We got time for one more question. Let's hit it. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so this was emailed into our inbox from Brian. Another one that I hear a lot: how to encourage a stagnant partner to pursue personal growth.
I hear this one a lot too. And so I'm going to have a multitude of answers here. So if I go to you, Chris, and I say, you know what, Chris, I'm trying to make some up, but you need to work out more. You know, your initial reaction is going to be like, what the screw this guy, like work out more.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. but you and I have talked about working out together, and we're going to be doing that soon, which I'm excited about. But the initial reaction for most people is you're saying something's wrong with me.
Yep.
So what guys do in our best interest is we tell our partner they should do personal development, or they should work on themselves, or they should see a coach, or they should do that. And what their wife is hearing is, I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. And so they are going to react and push back. And the last thing they're going to let their husband see is them doing any personal development. But they may do it in the background. Yeah. I see this thousands of times. So, okay, how do you do it, right? So my wife coaches women. Her website, sweatdirtandsoul.com. She coaches women. And what she would say is just be the result of the work. And I see this more often than not, Chris, is when a man is doing his personal development and is growing and sharing with his wife, not from a place of I'm better than you or I'm doing this, thing, the holier than thou type approach that a lot of us guys can take, but more from an excitement, like, oh man, this is so great. I'm doing this thing called the Alpha Rise and Shine. It's different than a typical morning routine, and I'm just loving how I'm feeling and the energy. Now I can invite her in to participate if she's interested. Part of this is the thing that they're doing that Coach Doug wants me to do is I come up with 5 things I'm grateful for in the morning. First thing, I'd love to share that with you. Would you be interested? Most likely she's going to be receptive.
Yeah.
Now, unless there's some massive problem in the relationship, then you don't. You just share that. Hey, 5 things I'm grateful for. I just wanted to let you know that you're one of them. And you walk away from that. Her interest is going to catch up to her, right? She's going to want to know. Now, the way my wife does personal development is totally different than the way I do it. Very, very different. We're not interested in the same things all the time. She's very into coaching women how to get into their femininity and how to surrender into it, right? That's not something I'm interested in.
Sure.
I want women to surrender into their femininity, but that's not my thing.
Yeah.
And so my wife studies deeply on that stuff. Every day she's reading about so she can be a better coach for the women that she works with and a better woman for me. And it's a great thing, right? But if I came to her and said, and I did this, so she was asking me to help her with her coaching business. And I dropped a book. I said, hey, I'm going through, the marketing team is flying out to the TPM Ranch, and I'm going to be meeting with them all next week. Here's the book that I'm giving each person. And I go, I think this would really help you. She hasn't touched that book.
Yeah.
Now, she was excited. Oh, thank you very much. I think it would help too. All her books that she has we have a couch and a coffee table next to it. And that's where my wife likes to read. She's got, I think, off the top of my head, I'm just picturing from this morning because we drink coffee in the morning, connect there. She's got about 4 books that are on there, right? And 1 book in the corner of the couch that's kind of been damaged recently because the kids jumping around. Those 4 books are all about women surrendering into their femininity, moon cycles, menstrual, all kinds of menopause, all kinds of stuff. The book that's kind of crumbled up is the book I gave her. Right? And it's because the kids are jumping on it. And it's not that she doesn't think that that book would help her or that she wants it. She's just not interested in it. Right?
Yeah.
It's just not her thing. That's my jam. I've read that book cover to cover. So for this guy, if he wants his wife to be involved in personal development, the key is be the example, right? Be the person. So going back to you and I, and this is a made up example for sure. It should be the other way around. But if I want you to exercise more and you're somebody I care about deeply, then what I get to do is be that example, right? I get to be the guy who's already exercising and not the first 5 weeks or whatever. That's the easy part. But I have to adopt this into my lifestyle. So when we're around each other, it's infectious for you. And you kind of go, hey, I want some of that too.
Yeah.
Right. And then you'll naturally just start exercising, vice versa. Right. I come to the TPM ranch sometimes on the weekends and you're running. You're out there doing a run or something like that. I'm like, dude, you never say, hey, Doug, you really should, dude, you've gained some weight, which I have. And you should be out here running. You just go for a run. And I'm like, man, I want to be more like Chris. I want to come out here and run. And I legitimately, this is a true story. I legitimately think about that.
Wow.
Whereas if you were just saying, hey, dude, you're fat. Like I would appreciate that, by the way, but come out here for a run, that has a little sting to it. Right.
Yeah.
But just by you being the example in this situation, you're infecting other people in a positive way. And so when I'm doing things for my wife, like when I get up and I start just cleaning the house, my wife starts cleaning the house. Like when I get up or I go, hey, I'm going to go for a walk. My wife now goes, and I do this at night. I'm going to go for a walk. She now is like, hey, can I join you? And so leading my home and being a leader in my home is something I practice regularly, not as consciously now as I used to because I've been in that practice for so long. But my wife follows. She wants to be led. And it's not a degrading thing at all. I think femininity is more powerful than masculinity. But naturally, the feminine spirit wants to be led by the masculine spirit. And so I can lead my wife to do those things. If I really wanted to lead her to do more business development, right, I could steer her in that direction. But it may look differently than the way I would do it.
Yeah, I think it comes back to being detached from the outcome of what it's going to look like, right? And then just being undeniable, like do the work yourself. So many times in my life, and I just use myself as an example because I feel like I've been through a lot of these things.
Yeah, man. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt this episode, but the reality is if you are watching or listening to this right now, then you are looking to better yourself. And I applaud you. You're one of my people. And I want to give you the opportunity of taking massive action. So if you haven't joined the activation method yet, it's our flagship program. Do what thousands of other businessmen just like you have done and take action. Be one of the 1%ers that actually does the work and takes action. There'll be a link in the description that'll take you right to a page that'll just give you more information. There is no obligation. Just go check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. All right, let's get back to this episode.
My asking my wife to do any sort of personal development is truly just a reflection of where I'm at in my own. Because
Yes.
why do I even have time to ask that question?
Yeah.
Like,
What's judgment?
Yeah.
If I say you should be doing personal development, I am innately judging you, right? I'm showing a gap, right? And we all have gaps, right? There's a gap between the man that sits here now talking to you and the man that I foresee myself becoming. Now, if I focus on the gap, I'm anxious, depressed, sad, angry, all of those emotions because I'm not where I need to be. And that doesn't allow me to sit here and be present with you right now, having a conversation, sharing an experience. If I realize that gap is part of my journey and I'll get there, whether it be a day, a week, 10 years, when I'm resolute that I know I will become the man that I foresee, then it doesn't matter to me how long it takes, right? So when I do this with my wife, when I want her to work on her business or marketing, she asked me about it. I can't judge her from not taking the book that I gave her and reading it cover to cover. Now, innately, I have a reaction in me like, oh, I gave you the book. This is the same book I'm giving Colton or all these other people that are in our marketing department. This is going to help. Like I have a proven track record of building companies. So you should listen to me, right? But maybe she doesn't want to. Maybe she doesn't want to give me that authority. She wants to see me as her lover, not as her business coach.
Yeah.
And so for this guy, for personal development, I would just share. And that's something I wish I would have done earlier, is share like what I'm learning. I was talking to a guy yesterday, a man that I deeply care about. And I don't think he found somebody very close to him had a letter and a plan to commit suicide, to kill themselves. And this guy's got a heart of gold. And as you can imagine, he shared this with me and two of our other coaches. And I didn't even read the whole thread. I just called the guy. I just got on the phone immediately. He's like, yeah, I'm sure you saw the thread of messages. I was like, I didn't read them. I saw one thing on there about this person you care about going to kill themselves. And I called you because there's two people here that are affected, this person and you. And I just called them. And it's all about being that example, right? Of really going there and not worrying about the gap of what's going on. So you can have these extreme things go on. And what I told him to do, and the reason I bring this up, is I said, hey, man, one of the things that you said this person was having an issue with was self-worth, right? A lot of times with suicide, it's self-worth. And something I have this gentleman do is I have him send me every day something you're grateful for, wins. I go, send me your wins, this guy, because it's different for every guy, but there's rough architecture around this. For this guy, send me your wins. Send me something that you love about yourself. So it's 3 wins, 3 things he loves about himself. And I also have him send 3 things he forgives, right? Every day that he's letting go of. I go, do this with that person. Share it with them and invite them to do the same with you. But first, you just share it, right? And it's in that sharing. And for these guys, sharing what I'm learning in personal development, not from a place of you have to change, but like if I was like, hey man, this is what I'm learning right now, I'm really excited about it, and I just share it with you. If it clicks for you, you could say, hey, I want to tell me more about that course, the Powerful Man course, their TPM course, or whatever you're taking, the activation method. You'd want to know, or you'd go find something else that was interesting to you, like maybe as a piece of that practice. Or it could trigger, like the runs that I see you doing, triggers me wanting to go to the gym. Do I want to go running? Yeah, but really, I like lifting weights better. That triggers another thing, another thought.
Yeah.
And something else that I've also noticed is a lot of times men, their wives don't have an outlet. So be ready or prepared to offer that outlet. So when women come to Erin, my wife, oftentimes they have a story that they shouldn't be working on themselves, or for the money, the expense, because it's not cheap. But it's also the time. Like women have this same thing that men do. Like I should be spending my time doing something else, right? Not investing in myself.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure your partner, if they have any stories around that you can help clear those up.
Yeah, I love that. This is a great answer to the question. And yeah, it gives me insight. I always appreciate just hearing yours, because it's always applicable to myself and my relationship. And
yeah, man, we're all on this journey. That's something we were talking about off camera, and just for the guys is like, when I'm coaching men, I'm also thinking about my life and the gaps. And I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm perfect. I even think that I'm perfect or everything's amazing. I have a very blessed life. I think my relationship's amazing. I think the stuff I do I love the work that I do. I feel it's my calling truly. So I have a lot of those check marks, but dude, I've got enough things that I'm working on too. So I don't want anybody to ever think it's perfect. And so when I answer these questions for the men that are coming in or coaching, I'm also seeing tweaks that I can constantly make in my world too.
Yep, absolutely. We're all in this journey together.
That's right, man. All doing our best. Guys, as I always say, in the moment of insight, take massive action. As Chris just said, we're on this journey together, right? Surround yourself with a community, especially a community of men, like-minded men. Now, some of these questions we've taken over these last few episodes are from our free Facebook group, because we have our own private community for the men that are in there, where we have thousands of men just like you who are going through our programs, sharing real life stuff. And we recently opened a branch we're testing for non-business owners, and we've developed our own app. So we actually have our own app, our own community, all of our courses and everything on there. We are going to be opening those up. But if you're not ready to jump into a program like the activation method, if it's not for you, no problem. We do have that free Facebook group because we're here to help. That's why we've done over 900 podcast episodes. We've been around for a long time. We've invested in an over 100-acre ranch where we sit in today. We want to help you guys, but we can't help you unless you speak up. So I appreciate these questions coming in. I'm going to do my darnest to get as many of them answered as possible. But what I'm going to encourage you to do right now, I'm going to act as if I'm your coach, is don't go from one episode to one episode to one episode to another to another to another, right? That's educational masturbation, right? You got to take action on it. If you found something that Chris or I talked about insightful, take action on it now. Put this out, put pause, you can come back to it. If you want to take the next step and surround yourself with great men like Chris and the other men that have been through our programs, then just go over to thepowerfulman.com and click start. Get on a phone call with somebody like Chris or one of our other advisors and find out more information. Always, gentlemen, you are better than average. You deserve the most in life, and I want that for you. Whatever it is, whether it be in your marriage, your business, get better than average. We have one shot at this game we call life, at least that we know about. And so take advantage of it. All right. In the moment of insight, take massive action. We'll see you next time on the TPM Show.